Previously on Gears.
It is the 1FF1 show right here on Balls Visual Radio. Wow, I tell you, we've been waiting for this for quite a while to get these two legends into the studio, and I'm so glad they made it. And they made it back from their gig as well. I'm very impressed.
That's even more impressive than them making it here today. Do you know what I mean?
You know, these are true professionals.
So I only got up about half an hour ago.
So, you know, these are
15 minutes.
rock and roll as rock and roll should be. It is such a privilege to have Lionel Bastos and Wendy Oldfield, two evergreens in the Ball studio in Joburg. Because Lionel, you're from Cape Town.
Well, I live in Cape Town now, yeah.
Yeah, Wendy, you're in the wilderness.
I'm in the wilderness.
And you live there as well.
Yeah. I was just about to say literally and figuratively, but you beat me to it.
Listen,
it's nice to be here, guys. It's
It's great to see. It really is genuinely good to see.
been a while.
Years
You guys
since we all
too.
sat in the studio together.
It must be 20 years. Yeah, I mean, it's just
they're also legends.
fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Wendy.
None of us have got a real job.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just go back, because a lot of people who are listening now will want to know exactly where and how and who and it all fits together. Let's start with you, Wendy. I mean, you are a household name. So many South Africans grew up with you, know you, love your music. How many years have you been doing this?
This is my 31st year in the business that I've been a professional singer for.
And you look like you're only 32.
She started when she was 3.
Yeah, I started when I was 3.
Yeah, okay.
So, I've been singing for this long. You know, I started with the Sweat Band, moved up to Joburg, and, just carried on working, really. Left the band, had a solo career. Lionel produced my second solo album. That's when we had met before, but that's when we sort of got our friendship going and our working relationship going. And since then, I've done, about 6 solo albums, a couple of collaboration albums with different world music groups, Gito Beloy and that.
There's a name I haven't heard for a while either.
I know. It was a beautiful album.
Yeah.
Steve Newman and Gito Beloy, we had a band called Mondetta, and we toured for a while and did that. And then I went into strict breeding program and moved down to the wilderness, did 3 kids very quickly. And so I kind of carried on doing music there.
Strict breeding program.
It's so fantastic.
And kind of carried on doing music, but not the famous business. Just I produced some kiddie CDs.
Awesome.
Which I won some SAMA awards for.
Brilliant.
Congratulations. And it was great. I won 2. First one I did, and the second I'm going for a trifecta soon. So it was just a beautiful thing to do, because I had kids and music and living in wilderness, and got all my kids to sing on the album and that.
Aww.
And all like production work and that. And then about 3 years ago, I started growing horns again, suddenly, because I thought I'd never want to do music on this type of scale, because when you're pregnant, and you don't know, but when you're pregnant and having babies, kind of my creative energy was more in that zone. So then 3 years ago, I was like, little baby deer horns, and then crew horns, and then moose horns. And so I bumped into Robin Old, and he produced my album, and so I'm back again. Been touring with Lionel for about 3 years now, hey, Lion?
Yeah, 2.5 years.
2.5 years we've been...
Feels like 3 months.
Well, that's always a good thing.
Like 15 shows a month for about 2 years. Yeah, playing all over South Africa.
But I mean, the amazing thing is, you had worked together before, so you had produced an album, and then how did it just come about, Lionel, that you said, well, listen, because I know you work extremely hard as well, that you just sat and said, listen, let me hook up with Wendy and let's go and have a bit of fun.
No, she phoned me, and she had a guitarist drop out of a gig, and she said, I've got a gig tonight. Can we go rehearse it? We were doing a gig for like quite a lot of big names in Cape Town. And she said, can we have a little rehearsal? So we sat in the park. She sent me her tunes. We sat in the park, played this thing. And we got up and we did like some stuff I'd written, because she just learnt some of the songs I'd written for us. Like Never Give Up's one of them that you've got. And we got up that night and we played, and her manager said, this is the best I've ever seen you. And there's just such magic that happens. Everyone goes, people stop me I walk the promenade after I run. And they go, you're so in love with Wendy, because we look at one another and this magic happens on stage, and we smile, and there's this, it's quite amazing. Every night's different. And so from there we just got more gigs, and then it's amazing. it's beautiful what happens.
Finding my people again, I suppose, or our people again, getting out there.
Lionel, Wendy, you have such a big fan base. You speak as though you kind of have lost that, but you haven't. I mean, we all grew up with your music. We really did.
Yeah, I know, but you know what it's like in the business these days. It's very hard to kind of work. I mean, speak to anybody that's out there working, unless you're sort of really pumping it as a freshly ground at the time. And I mean, I'm even sure that it's not as easy as for them as it was a few years ago. So you have your moments in the sun that it's really, really easy. And I have to say, I'm very grateful for that, because I don't do a lot of advertising for the shows, and I do lots of little shows, and they're mostly full. And that's just purely on the basis of my name and people coming out to see me again. So I don't have to work the PR that much.
Yeah.
The venues do their own PR, which is why I've sort of kept to smaller venues, because then it's more in-house. They send out to their databases.
But it's also more intimate as well.
Yeah, and it's also telling stories. I mean, we crack up and we tell people stories that we probably shouldn't. And,
no, they should hear this.
Yes,
I can't believe what he told them.
Well, I can't.
I will mention it last night, because it's Balls Radio. Apparently, you're allowed to say anything.
Can say anything
whatever you want.
So she's taken.
I mean,
to
enjoy
these,
the lawsuit, but
she's taken to these pink flamingos.
Strawberry kisses or something.
Strawberry
lips.
Is that what they're called?
yeah.
I think it's invented by an alcoholic who wanted tequila, or actually somebody with heartburn who wanted alcoholic with heart. It looks like
a
Gaviscon.
undercover.
That's what I said. So last night she goes, "This tastes just like strawberry milkshake." So I said, "That's what the priest said," and then my bum hurt like hell the next morning, and she couldn't sing for about 3 minutes.
That's hilarious. Oh dear, Lionel, you've had an incredibly interesting journey through the South African music industry as well. I mean, let's we've heard Wendy's story, and I think we met, you and I met when I was still working at 5FM, and I remember you coming to plug singles, and kind of you were always there in the halls of the South Afrikaanse Uitsaai-korporasie.
Yeah, because I was producing.
Yeah, you were producing stuff, but just give us a background as to what your journey's been, because it's a very interesting one.
Well, here, I mean, I played with different bands, and then I went to live in Europe, and then the Far East, and then Australia, and all over the world, really, just gigging and producing. And then I got back, and I produced Wendy's album, and then the same company asked me to produce Ibon Chaka Chaka, and I'd co-written on both the albums. So Gary Finch said to me, "Do an album." And I said, "Jeez, I'm too old to do an album. I'm done with recording." So he said, "No, you can do whatever you want." And no one in the record industry ever says that to you. "Just do an album, I'll pay for it." So I went in and I did it. And then you guys, I got asked the other day what position, because somebody, I think one of you, put on Facebook that I worked at 5FM.
Right.
So Facebook asked me, "What was your position on 5FM?" And I said, "Number 2, number 4, and I think number 8 on the charts."
Fantastic.
And that album was amazing. It's got a Sama nomination. It got apparently more airplay than Bryan Adams that year, and the Bee Gees. And then the second album won the Sama Award, and then it just went on from there. And I'd been writing for Clout and other acts before that, so I'd been writing quite a lot for different people. And then I took a break.
Yeah.
And actually, no breeding program.
Been there, done that.
And then, now recently, I wrote a film score. I wrote the film score for Confetti, and it's won awards overseas. Not the score, but the film.
The film.
And I love what I do with her. I mean, I'd gladly not record another album and just play guitar.
Just play gigs.
And do gigs.
But Lionel, I mean, as you say, I mean, you write for a lot of other people as well, and it's spread all over the world. But I remember you wrote a couple of tunes for Vicky Sampson.
Yes.
Going back a few years.
Yeah.
And there was a song in there with the greatest respect to Vicky Sampson. I remember sitting with you and saying, this should be sung by either Mariah Carey or the late Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And it's I can't remember the name of the song for the life of me, but it's just one of those songs I heard and I went, this should be a #1 Billboard.
It's called I'm Not, I Was Never.
I think there we go.
It was on the Carol Lee album as well.
Unbelievable.
And I've written for like Oriole Hayes and recently Tsepotsola, and I've got 2 songs on Oriole's upcoming album. And we've just written something which we haven't done. So we kind of, I had this chorus, and then Wendy took it to a verse, and she just la 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 the last time we were in Durban, and then we spoke about, and then we spoke.
Like that, eh?
La la la.
No, she la la la. She had no lyrics, and then we spoke about it, and she said, "I'm working on the lyrics, and it's been months." So last night we spoke about it in the car, like verse, a chorus, verse. We go into the. We don't extend the verse like 2 bars. We go back into the chorus. We just spoke it through, and she said we'll rehearse it when we get there. But obviously the Wendy Oldfield fan base arrived, and there was no rehearsal. There was just a lot of chatting. And then she had to go for a wee after the break.
Yeah.
During the break. So
And
I
that's
got
when
up
she
on
wrote the
stage
words.
and I started the song, and I went,
playing it while I was in the loo. I was like,
and then she thought, and I just said, just go for it. And we went, and the people went mad. It just worked. You know, because we have this kind of there's a magic that happens with her.
So basically, what we learning is if we want Wendy to write lyrics, is put her in the toilet and put her under pressure.
Yeah, and put her and her bladder under pressure.
Under pressure, yeah.
no, if I don't have to think about it, that's usually the best.
Now listen, we've got some of your new stuff that we're gonna play here as well. But when you guys are you guys playing stuff that you sort of that Lionel you've written and your kind of songs, Wendy your kind of songs, and then you put a couple of the songs that you've done together, or how? I mean, what are you playing at these gigs?
Mostly this gig we're doing mostly Wendy stuff. We do 1 or 2 covers which we've arranged completely differently to the originals. We
Brian
do,
Ferry.
Not
not
yet,
a bad
Sasha.
idea,
But
is
if you come
Lionel,
into a
come
gig,
on,
I'm gonna
man.
have to. He hugs me.
All the time.
I gotta do an
Biggest Brian
arrangement.
Ferry fan over
I
there.
know, I know.
Chris Isaacs who do it.
Okay, all right. I'm coming. I'm definitely there on Saturday.
And then we do some of my songs as duets, and occasionally I'll do a song on my own because there'll be some groupie in the audience going, Lionel, play Lionel. Somebody asked for The Gambler, which I had to tell you, if you ever come into a gig, we're never doing in our lives.
Again.
Ever.
I didn't know what
And
it was.
so it's a combined thing, but it's
The
very much
Gambler.
it's very much like a unified, I don't know, there's a chemistry that happens. Everyone that sees us just goes,
Yeah.
you know, and I've got this technique. I play a kick on my mic stand because I got a Bayer dynamic, so it picks up this boom, and I play bass, and I play a
It's all on the
snare,
floor.
and then I play the strings
Wow.
differently. So it's like we sound, everyone goes, you guys, they've asked Wendy, are you using backtracks? But we aren't, because, you know, I thought of using a loop, but once you got the loop down, you're a slave to the loop.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
go back to 1 and 3.
We like hanging out with overachievers in this radio station. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because
So we just kind of do everything on stage,
I've
and
got
Wendy
nodules on
plays.
my vocal cords so I can sing harmonies with myself as well.
And when I produced Wendy all those years ago, I thought, geez, this woman's an amazing singer, because I'd been producing albums in Europe, and she heard it, and then she asked Gary if I could produce the album. But now, and I've worked with some big names recently, Wendy is just, I promise you, she's one of the best singers in the world right now. She's
That's amazing.
phenomenal to hear.
Well,
I
listen,
mean, the light and shade, the power, it's ridiculous.
listen, we got you guys here for a while. We're going to play this new dress. Is that the one? Mm-hmm. All right. So here is Wendy Oldfield. It's taken from a brand new CD called Supernova. And here's a taste of it. It's called New Dress. I feel like watching The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Just stunning. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Do you know what that song? Here's my opinion. You got to get that remixed.
I have.
You've got to get that
I'm
remixed.
performing it next week at Vortex. I'm opening for the big trance party, and I'm doing a remix of this and Legalize and the song Dueo. Do you remember?
Dueo, yeah.
remix. Well, this DJ's done remixes of all these tracks. So I'm going to perform with him at the Vortex on what's next weekend, the 8th or 7th.
Yeah. Week after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Stunning.
Well, the Saint who listens all the way from the UK says, great to hear Lionel and Wendy. Amazing talent, incredible music. So it's very nice.
True story.
And
true story.
Gillian says, moved off my Thailand onto my laptop screen, Lionel. I think she's got a...
Close up and personal.
I was going to say a fan, but maybe a stalker.
Well, yeah, all comes with the
Been there,
territory.
done that, yeah.
Listen, you guys are playing the gigs all around in Joburg. It's nice to have you in sort of Gauteng.
Oh, I love being here.
Yeah.
Love
Do
it
you
here.
really?
I do.
Yeah.
You know what? You can never get over how polite Joburg drivers are. I mean, they're one or two people.
What part of Joburg are you driving in, buddy?
No, we're
Cape Town
driving.
recently.
No,
They're
try
from
Cape
Cape
Town.
Town. They're from
Try
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
Yeah. No, people. I was watching this long lane yesterday. I was in Bryanston Drive going towards Morningside. And the traffic was moving slowly, but like perfectly. There was a stop street, and it was one car, one car, one car, one car.
Yeah.
Nobody went try to get. Everyone let. It was incredible. I was like, try that in Cape Town. It's like you can't get in. Oh no, you're not gonna get in.
Wow.
Nothing's gonna let you in.
Because I mean, let's get serious. The traffic problem in the wilderness must be crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, listen.
It's wild there. It's wild.
It must be those people coming down the hill from George.
When
Just
I'm
going,
driving-
whoa, here I come.
When I'm driving my kids to school in the morning, I take the back road. It's a little sand road, and there's no one on the road. That if you actually do see a car, you have an accident because it gets such a fright. You know, everybody pulls over into the bushes. You know?
So listen, Wendy. I mean, you guys have been touring now for quite a long time. But I mean, you've been so busy living in the wilderness. Do you not sometimes sit there and think, I really got to move out of here, go live in the city again? Or are you finding it even easier for you to write stuff over there?
Well, you know, it's actually been quite hard to write the last few years because we're traveling so much and
Yeah.
gigging. So it's kind of, we're actually making a point of it now because otherwise you just get so into the gigs and everything. But it's fantastic because, you know, my kids are there. I've got a 14, a 12, and a 10-year-old, Luca, Jude, and Lila. And they go to a little farm school in Hookville, don't have to wear shoes. It's really like the country. And beautiful, beautiful people, and it's really so amazing. So I satellite. If I was living in Joburg, I'd be touring to Durban and I'd be playing. So I'd be doing the same thing, except I'd be living here. So I might as well live there and do all my traveling from there. And then I sort of go home and I'll take 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then I'll be gone again for another 2 weeks. So the amount of time I spend there is amazing because then I'm mom completely. When I'm there, I fetch, I soccer mom, I bake cakes, I do all the things, pick the kids up from school, and so I really get into that type of thing. So yeah, I mean, it's if I was here with kids, oh God, it would be awful.
Yeah.
Trying to manage that and fetch kids and do gigs, and
That would be a
so
lot
it's
more
better to do it
complicated.
this way. Yeah, and it's such a beautiful life for
And
my
you'd have to buy
children.
school shoes as well.
Have to buy school
That's the
shoes.
other thing.
Yeah. Lionel, and you just do not stop.
Well, I love what I do. I mean,
Yeah.
I absolutely love what I do. I look forward to every gig with Wendy. I do gigs with people like Oriel Hayes and
Yeah.
PJ, and I love it. But this woman
Lionel's
is just...
got a hernia.
Oh, yeah, we've
A
got...
pending hernia, so I've been lugging gear. You should have
This
seen me
too.
last night.
I went to a surgeon last Monday, and he said, we're going to have to look at this. I said, yeah, because I go on tour tomorrow. He said, no, I'll decide whether you go on tour tomorrow or not. So he had a look and he said, okay, nothing heavier than a shopping bag, which I've already broken, if you're listening, Dr. Jackson. But what happens is she's got to carry the
All the
speakers
stuff.
and the desk, because those are the three heaviest things. Because she says, you can't pop on me, we've got to finish this tour. So yesterday we're setting up and we take our own gear because they've got like a...
We don't wanna
So,
use
and
this.
I'm going, Wendy, and I said, no, you got to move the speaker.
Move it
And
like
all
that.
these guys are sitting at the bar watching us. And they must be going,
Standing and
You-
pointing
I'm
like
going,
that.
yeah, move the speaker over there.
Chauvinist, you.
No, the guys are probably thinking that guy's got it safe.
Yeah, there we
That's
go.
the way to go.
Yeah, he's
How
going.
did he manage that?
Well, he's got her well trained. I'm going to send my wife to him for lessons.
But it's so irritating because normally Wendy can just go sit, and I just love to just carry everything, set it up, because I do our sound.
Yeah.
It's just, even when we do festivals, it's like go to the engineer and I just say, this is what I want, tops, blah, 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 blah. Because because of the way I play, because I play a bass and then,
Yes.
I set up the guitar differently to a standard guitar. It needs quite a lot of bass, quite a lot of treble, because then I'm playing like two instruments and a snare on the body of the guitar. So, and we just sound checks. We didn't even do a sound check yesterday. So I checked her vocal.
Okay.
She went out to have drinks
With her
then-
mates,
yeah,
with the
and
fan
I-
club.
And then I did my vocal and we got on stage and kind of, I know. It's so
Also
easy.
using the same system all the time. When we play in different venues and use other systems, you're getting used to a different sound and a reverb.
Yeah.
It's really nice using the same system because we know exactly what we're getting and what is no surprises, you know.
Are you also finding, I mean, of course, when you get your two names out there, people are going to, wow, this is going to be so cool. But are you getting new people coming to sit there and go like, okay, well, who are they? Or people, you know, maybe parents.
Well, lots of my friends have
kids.
or people come and they bring their children.
Yeah.
I was told the other day that I was sick.
You are sick,
I'm
baby.
sick, yeah.
Oh, get down with the sickness.
I was like, no, I'm not. I feel fantastic. Do I look? And he said, no, you're sick, man. I don't know why I haven't heard you before. So
You know,
but
it's
there
so
are
funny.
people who see us, and there are people. I mean, the nice thing is you get European people who are going, when you're coming out there, because people in Europe would love this.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole, you know, it's a proper show. It's not just a gig.
Yeah.
It's a show, and it's.
And I played djembe, like a little djembe.
She
while
played
we did the
djembe
salsa.
like a boss.
fantastic.
Very
Awesome.
nice sound, you know, the combination of
Yeah.
the voices and the style and everything that we play. It's very unique.
That's very exciting.
Hey, what about iTunes? Before you play the other two, I just wanted to ask you: have you sold quite a few songs through iTunes? Because I mean, the back catalogue, if you're on there, people have opportunity to get it. Have you not got on there yet?
I've got this on,
This album.
but I haven't got it's on my to-do list.
Yeah.
But I have got this one on, and I'm sure you can get some of my other stuff. I haven't checked
Yeah.
my PayPal account recently, so we'll see.
Listen, we'll talk about forthcoming gigs and where you guys are going to be besides Joburg, but elsewhere as well. Lionel, do you want to tell us a little bit about this? A brand new album called
Well, it's actually a few years old, and I held back on it because
Okay.
my mum had passed away, and there are Portuguese songs on there because she always said, why don't you sing Portuguese songs? And she also said, why don't you do, because a lot of the albums became heavier and heavier, you know, in terms of
Yes.
instrumentation, and like that second album rocked more. She said, remember when in Mozambique you used to sit and you just used to play like a nylon string guitar and just sing softly? So I did an album of, it should have a caution on it, like do not drive, you know, under the influence of alcohol or while operating machinery. But it's, and I didn't know what to call it, so I called it
And
Oh,
okay,
what should I call it? Okay, that's what I'll
that'll
call
do.
it.
And the song "Fall in Love with Me,"
It's just a tongue-in-cheek thing about,
falling in love.
yeah, just asking someone to fall in love with you.
All right, well, let's give it a listen. There we go. It is. It's taking you back 2009. Is this when you did all
That's
of these?
when I did it, and then I was on the verge of a license deal with Japan for it, and the tsunami happened, and then I had another slew of deaths in the family, and it was just
Held off.
lost my way for a while.
Held off. Here we go. Lionel Bastos and "Fall in Love with Me."
Fall in love with me. You to fall in love with me.
Beautiful. Man, that is
Thank you.
true class. "Fall in Love with Me." Lionel Bastos and, of course, Wendy Oldfield, our in-studio guest right here on Balls. We've got people already asking, will you be coming to the UK?
The plan is that that's what we're actually going to focus on this year for next year. So we won't be around for a few months, you know, over their season next year, and go and do Glastonbury and Glade, and maybe go up to, I don't know, Denmark. and
We
do
got
shows
asked to
around
do
there
a
and
tour of
Edinburgh.
Denmark and lecture to music students and do like a university tour, and then their
How's your
Workshops
Danish?
their
and-
sponsorship.
Good.
I love a Danish with a coffee,
yeah, me too.
and what I've seen from
Sometimes without the coffee.
Sometimes with syrup or whipped cream.
Listen, a Danish with whipped cream.
That's it.
There's an innuendo there that we won't even go into.
I think we're all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
All
we're looking at Europe because
That's wonderful.
But please get hold of us if you have any bright ideas and want to offer some gigs. We'd love that.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
we've got a couple of these people asking us, so I'm sure we'll hopefully get some things. Now, you're still here in Joburg. I mean, you played last night, which was amazing. Now, Friday, you've got, I think, a really, really cool gig at the
Troyville.
legendary Troyville Hotel.
I haven't done it yet. I've never played there before, so
It's an
it'll
iconic.
be
It's our Virgin Run,
It's-
which is not a word you hear often in Troyville.
More than
in terms
like.
of our lives.
But it
Or
is.
Virgin at any rate.
You
Run
know,
you hear a lot, I'm
It
sure.
just is one of those amazing places, the Troyville Hotel. You sit there and go, you're going to Troyville, and yet it is just the coolest place. It is so cool. So
can't wait.
hopefully that's going to be so much
Wow.
fun. And then on Saturday you're at Thatcher's, which is in Lone Hill, just down the road.
Where are we going to see you?
Yes, definitely. And then on you got a double gig on Sunday in Parkview at June Ginkgo.
Ginkgo.
Yes, and then June Lucky Bean
Yeah.
in Melville. So I
Yes.
mean, and then you Joburg done.
Then we're done.
Then we're done. Then I go back into the studio with Johnny Blundell to
Wow.
arrange and possibly co-produce an album for some other people. And Wendy goes to do Trance Party. Then we do the R62 for our sins.
Yeah, we do Montague and Barrydale and Grayton. We're doing like a little.
And Ronnie's sex shop. Along
Yeah,
the
we'll
way.
definitely do
Yeah.
a stop there and going for a swim in the hot pool.
You see, because
Yeah.
I call our tours because I don't drink, because I can't, because I'm the rhythm section, and I'm also dad, psychiatrist, driver. So our tours
you're
are
waiting to
all
pop as well.
are all and I'm waiting to pop.
Yeah.
And our tours are all, they've got a title, and then they're subtitled Driving Miss Crazy. Because Wendy can put together a schedule that is, we
Yeah,
live.
so I put the gigs together.
We're
and
trying to get a Voltaren sponsorship.
Yeah.
so true.
Just
This
get
is my voice,
just
I
get
know.
ER24 with you. Just follow you around, and they give you those
Yeah.
little those injections. What do they call it? The
Adrenaline injection.
yeah.
Yeah,
There we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Smash a couple of those.
Give my parents my regards when you're in Montague, because they're there, so I'll tell them to
Okay,
come see
tell
you.
him.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
at a chapel.
Oh,
Not exactly sure of the name of the venue, but Yanni, do you remember Yanni van Tonder, the trombone player for Benny Bafunk?
Jeez, I don't.
He's
know.
organised me the gig
Okay.
down there. Yeah, and he's coming to
Stunning.
jam with us.
What a jewel. What a jewel.
Unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Guys, listen, we can only say thank you so much for coming through.
thank
We
you.
love the
Yeah,
tunes. We're
thank you.
definitely going to load them up and we'll play them. And listen, please, when you're back in Joburg again, you must come and visit us.
We will. We're
Yeah, don't
coming
be
back in
strangers.
September.
Wonderful.
But we're going to be doing getting a band together for that, because the 2 years of just us and that we feel like we need to explode a little bit, and then we'll go back to the two-man thing. But we're going to get a band together and do bigger gigs,
Wonderful.
that type of thing. But
Well,
we'll
listen,
let you know.
I'm expecting in Lone Hill a bit of Shriekback, a bit of Brian Ferry, a bit of Lionel, lots of Wendy. So no pressure.
No pressure at all.
And Lionel does a One Direction cover as well.
Oh, brilliant. I can't wait for that one. Oh, jeez.
Gonna start growing your hairline on that one, buddy.
Actually, you
I'm
know,
actually- now I'm waxing my full body.
see, if you're doing a One Direction,
So
guys,
am
I'm leaving the show.
No,
I'm
I'm
going to
doing-
camp outside now.
I'm doing a tribute to One Direction, so I'm waxing everything from here down and leaving the beard.
Yeah,
One
I'll wax
Direction and
everything from here
Conchita.
down as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's funny.
Brilliant. Listen, Wendy, Lionel, so great to have you. So wonderful to see you. It's great to see you all in such good health and happiness and brilliance. And hopefully all of your gigs just go better and better, and just carry on doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
God,
Nice to
thanks,
be
thanks
here.
for having
Nice
us.
to see you,
Yeah,
Sasha.
wonderful.
Nice to-
Cool.
There we go. Lionel Bastos, Wendy Oldfield, and wow, there we go. That's a treat for all of us today.
gearsonballs.co.za with Sasha Martinengo and Daisy Fensham.
Weekdays 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.